Om Madhura Sarala Bhakti Ishatattang Prakasya Krushagata Purigatayapi Ishaputro Amritaja Tamati Sayang Pavitrang Merijang Lokabandhung Parama Prema Murting Dinanathang Bhajama Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute, we worship that Lord of love, the embodiment of compassion, the friend of the lowly, the son of Mary, who is extremely pure in character, who preached the message of the divine Lord in sweet and simple language, and who remained immortal after being crucified. We salute that Christ again and again. Oh, peace, peace, peace. So just last Sunday or Sunday before? Sunday. Last Sunday was Easter. So we thought that we can think about Easter and its significance and what Easter, how Easter can be within, to resurrection can be made within. God comes, let me remember the story. As we know, after crucifixion, after the third day, the Sunday being included there, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of Jesus, and Salome. So these three, they went to find Christ, to anoint Christ after crucifixion. And then resurrection happened. As it is said in the Bible, when the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought sweet spices that they may come and anoint the Lord Christ. Very early when the sun had risen just, on the first day of the week, they came to the tomb. And they were saying, "Who will roll back the stone for us from the entrance of the tomb?" And when they looked up, they saw that the stone had been rolled back, and it was very large. And entering into the tomb, they saw a young man sitting on the right side in a white robe, and he said, "Don't be amazed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, the crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him." So when he had risen early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene. And then Mary Magdalene went and told this to the disciples of Christ, who were mourning and weeping. When they heard that he was alive and had been seen by her, they did not believe it. After this, he appeared in another form of two of them walking along on their way to the country. They returned and told others, but they did not believe either. But later, as all the 11 other disciples were at the table, Jesus appeared to them and rebuked them for their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they had not believed those who saw him after he had been risen. So Christ appeared 3 times. Mary Magdalene is the wonderful blessed lady who had the fortune to see the risen Christ first. It's a very historic event and also very philosophical side of this resurrection. It is to be understood where God appears, what God wants us to see, what is our focus and what is God's focus. We think of our deeds, misdeeds, we look from that perspective, but God looks at us from the heart, the sincerity, the love, the unconditional pull for Him. So here we find that 3 times He appeared, and the disciples of Christ, they didn't have the fortune to see, but it is the fortune of Magdalene, Mary Magdalene, who was not respected in the society in the background of their character, no? People used to think, but see the purity of the heart, the sincerity of love for God can create this wonderful transformation, and it can, in the eyes of God, no sin is sin. It is all pure if one has the love for God. We like that the God appears. This is a beautiful phenomena in the spiritual resurrection in our life. God appears, and what a great sacrifice. Who is God? God, who is the creator, sustainer, maintaining the entire cosmos. He comes down and endures all the weaknesses and sufferings like us. So, the sacrifice of incarnations, in this context, can be explored deeply from the Christian theology as also from Vedantic perspective. So we can find that in Christian perspective, Easter commemorates for the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and it is 3 days after the crucifixion. His sacrifice on cross is viewed as the central act of divine love. It is considered God's divine love for humanity from Christian perspective. Why he comes down as an incarnation of God? The Christians believe that Jesus is God incarnate who took an human form to save humanity from sin, and is sacrificed. His sacrifice and death are sin atoning sacrifice, the Lamb of God taking upon himself the sins of the world. That is the greatness of the incarnations. When the incarnations come, they take the sin and our karma fall of all of us, meaning that setting an example that sacrifice is the part of life. Spiritual life means, material life means anything where we are in life means sacrifice. We have to know and powerfully, willingly learn to sacrifice for the cause, higher cause. We see this if we look at the life after crucifixion, the pain, the agony, the suffering which Christ has to bear. It is inhuman, it is unthinkable. He has to carry the cross himself, and see the mercy and compassion of that person there when crucifying him crucified, and at that state of tremendous pain and agonies, he is blessing those who are doing this act of crucifixion. Said that, "O Lord, they do not know what they are doing. Forgive them." What to learn out of this? This is the purpose of the incarnations to come. And incarnations come, whenever they come, they do the same thing in the Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Rama, Krishna. They all give this example of sacrificing oneself for the good of others. Sacrificing oneself, one's own selfish motivations to the dedication for the good of others. So this, Jesus, we find that the sacrifice, and also the triumph of life over death. Death happens to the body, but not to the soul. This is also another idea which is very clear, that when Jesus was crucified and he is dead, and that's why next day when they come to the tomb, the three of the ladies, they saw there is a heavy block of stone, and the stone is blocking, so they could not enter into the tomb to find and to anoint the body of Christ. But it is surprisingly, the story goes, the stone rolled out of its own place. It is a spiritual significance, is that the ignorance which is hiding from the heart and the mind of those three, that dropped, and they entered into the cave. And when they entered into the cave, what they saw? An angel with white robe, and they say, "Oh, you come to see Christ, he is not here, he has risen." And they give this message to the nearest disciples of Christ. They are the holiest people, holier than Magdalene, of course, holier than other ordinary people. But that is not the consideration. This love of these three for Christ made it impossible to roll down the obstacle which was separating to enter into the tomb. And cave is a dark place. And there, but for these illumined ladies, they saw there is an angel sitting with a white robe. The light, they saw a little light. And he indicated he is risen, and go and find him in Galilee. These are all simple statements, and also historically it is true. But it is to be understood the awakening happening inside. Even the 11 disciples, they didn't believe when these people went and related that God has risen. Doubt is the last block in our spiritual journey. Even someone says, "I have seen God." Ramakrishna came and testified, said, "I have seen God, I see much clearer than I see you." But still we have, what confidence we have in our difficulties, in troubles. We say God is there, but when we are in difficulty, do we have faith in that? Yes, God is there. That is the purity of the heart. And that purity of the heart, and they are the person who saw Christ first. And then second time reported that they didn't believe. And then Christ has to appear before them. A third time, when the third vision means with that, and then they believed. That's why Christ rebuked them, that you believe because you saw, but you didn't believe when you are reported that God appeared there. So in the pure heart it appears. And where it appears, and why this incident of so much of pathos, of pain, of suffering of Christ, why it happens? It leads that in spiritual life we need to do austere practice and spiritual discipline, go to suffering and pain. The world is for those people who can be wise, who can enjoy the world. Those who are Swami Vivekananda's formula, sixth formula is there. You should have to be heartless. How Jodopray. You should be heartless, be like a stone. Don't care about sufferings of others. Someone is dying, okay, someone is clean, it's their karma. Oh, it is a bad guy, he's a homeless guy, well, that's okay. Ignore. You should be getting a place in the world. One condition. 6 conditions has been given by Swami Vivekananda. How Jodopray. Be like inert like that, your heart. Jodopray. Oti nich, meanest of the mean. How mean you can be. Be meanest of the mean. Oti Jodopray, oti nich. Mukhe modu. Very sweet tongue. How I love you, I thank you, this, you, that. Mukhe modu. Antare, but inside, full of poison. Antare gorol. Satyahin, they must say truth. Just you say this and deny. I didn't say that. Satyahin, Sartava, and nothing but I, me, my, everything. If you can have these 6 qualities, Vivekananda says, then you shall get a place in this world. But if you are not, if you have a broad heart, Hridivan, you have Hriday, the large-hearted person, Hridivan, Nisharto, you are selfless. You don't want for anything for yourself. Premik, and you love humanity, love everyone. E jagote nahita bostan. People don't recognize you, understand you. After death they recognize. That's why Christianity also recognizes the saints. When? When they die and go through the torture and pain and suffering, then after death, post-mortem declaration, he was a saint. That means people don't recognize the holiness. People not have the eye to see that. So that is the indication. And for that reason, Christ, this resurrection within is necessary. How it will be done? We need that inspiration of sacrifice. We need that inspiration of love for humanity. We need that, what can I do for you? God is in everyone. The spirit, that is the point. That entire philosophy, in all the incarnations, if we go through it, purification of the heart, selflessness, and your dedication of your life and character for others, that characterizes makes the field where the Lord will appear. It cannot appear in a dark, as you see, dark room, in a dark cave. Cave is considered dark. That's why every time in the Upanishad also say, you think of the God, Lord in the cave, but it's not dark, it's full effulgent. Remove the darkness. Appearance of the Lord will make it dark heart, a pure heart. So the purpose of these incarnations are always to bear the pain and suffering, to show us the way, how you live, how you are a spiritual person, you live in the life, and what is your goal, and what path you will follow. The path of sacrifice, path of love, path of sympathy, path of compassion, path of blessings. That's why it is the important thing that the appearance of this within this resurrection must have to happen. And it happens day by day, every day, little by little, little by little. So we find that the human limitations, taking on human limitations, though divine they are willing, if there is God, he can easily change everything, no? Why he had to come down? That's the point. If Jesus Christ is God, so why he had to come down and go to this? Suppose someone is like me or you, been taken to the cross, and then pinning here, pinning hand, pinning in the chest, going on. What type of brutality? And why he underwent if he is God? It is because he's saying, see, I am the Lord God. I come here. So much suffering I am to for no reason. But you have to follow the path of purity and God realization. You will have to undergo this suffering. That's why austerity, spiritual practice, all are needed. This is the idea of crucifixion is given to see that it is the way of life. So we, the human being, have our good and bad deeds, but God has no need. But he comes down to demonstrate that I have done so much. You also suffered with me. Which path you want to take? If you path the path of holiness, this is the path of holiness. So that's why you find many people, many devotees complain this. I am such and such person, but why it is for me? Why it is so much suffering? That is the way of purification. Purification, and that is the way of love for humanity to grow. And then ultimately the love, God, who is the consummation of, is the embodiment of all human love personified, he appears in the heart. That's why bearing the burden, avatars take up, that is the karma or suffering of others, because they have no karma of their own, but they have their suffer. They suffer because of others' suffering to take. But the teaching, they often face rejection. There are many seats here. 2-3 seats are here. Teaching and guiding, they often face rejection when they speak. Many people, when they speak, Swami Vivekananda came in this country, and he was accepted by many people, but rejection was also very serious rejection. How much opposition, misunderstanding, and also persecution. Persecution, not Swami Vivekananda was given to what? To drink poison in Detroit, because he is speaking this new message of Vedantic message, You are Atman, you are pure, you are stainless, it is going against the sin idea, and he was given to drink poison in a cup. But Ramakrishna appeared there. They don't drink. And that's the way we get Vivekananda back. Otherwise, Vivekananda will be crucified like Christ was done. Vivekananda was crucified in a different way, because he relentlessly served humanity, and at 39 years, 6 months, he has to leave the body. His body could not take. And now the new letters have come, Swami Vivekananda's 4-volume letters. They are the latest, last part. They have given beautiful note how Swami Vivekananda was suffering excruciating difficulties, health problems, by only what? Because in those days, to throw the voice to thousands of people on the lecture time, it took exhaust so much energy, and he is relentlessly worked day and night for the preaching this Vedantic message, so that's destroyed his health, and he has to die. So it is death is of the physical body, but Vivekananda is not dead. He is more alive than death. Christ is dead physically, of course. Anyone will die, but crucifixion, but that death, but he is alive more in millions and billions of people's heart. So this is this persecution, but we have to understand the teachings we can take, that human limitation, though divine, they willingly accept the suffering, because God, being God, he can wish whatever he wished. He could have changed the whole world. Why Kongso? Why Krishna was born in a jail? When Krishna was born, the king, there was king like Herod, there was a king. And that king ordered all children under 1 year, chop them, kill them, because Krishna may be born one of them somewhere. So don't take a chance. Krishna was baby, he was born. Where he is born, they did not know. So destroy all the children. So such people were ruling the country, no? And there he came. If he is God, this question comes, why he has to undergo? He could just say, let the mind of everyone change. A split second it will all change. But no, it is for this purpose that they come down and demonstrate a life of enduring suffering and pain, and they follow up the righteous people, and that those sufferings when come, don't murmur. Welcome, let this suffering come. It shows that I am a good person. We take suffering as a bad, negative idea, but this teaches us, if anything comes with all my sincerity, then I am doing something good. I am in the path of righteousness. So willingly they accept the sufferings. That teaches we are to be ready to accept suffering, willingness for righteousness, for truth, for sense, for realization of the highest. Pain and ignorance of human existence. So human existence is always in their level, one level, and God comes in another level. So there will be misunderstanding and pain, but don't stop. That's why Vivekananda says, arise, this is arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. The goal is to know the divine, and goal is to conquer death. What's the purpose of life, if one can say? We call God realization. Better you say, conquering death. That is resurrection. Conquering death. Death happens to the body. But I am that pure soul. There is no death in that pure soul. So this teaches that human life, there will be suffering and pain and ignorance of human existence will be there. But we will have to bear the burden, like Jesus take up themselves the karma. So we are to suffer our karma or for the good of others. Think, Swami Vivekananda said, you have lived for yourself for many, many lives. Let this life go for the good of others. Sacrifice yourself. Forget yourself. You don't have to get God realization, but do good to others and die. He said that I love you so much, his own disciples, but I wish that you should die for doing good to others. Suffer for others. There is a great joy in suffering for our own purpose and suffering for others. So here is the teaching that the rejection will be there, misunderstanding will be there, persecution may be there, yet you have to continue to offer. You contribute what? Wisdom, compassion and love. So that is the teaching of the resurrection within. To reveal something here. Outside anything we gain in outside, it does not give us satisfaction, it cannot give us perfection. But this internal awakening, the awakening of the spirit within, that is the call of Easter. So, living example that, yes, wisdom, compassion and love, that should be our part to continue in the path of wisdom. So there is a story, you know. There is a sadhu, holy man, and he was taking a bath, and he found that in the pond or in the lake, a scorpion fell down. So the sadhu was so compassionate, he took it in his hand, and as soon as he took it, the scorpion gave a bite, but he threw away on the land so that the life of the scorpion is saved. He was taking, but by that time again, second time, the scorpion fell into these waters. And then he again took that scorpion and threw away on the land. But again he get a bite. Again he fell. Again he threw away. Someone was telling, what a fool, why are you doing that? He is giving a good bite and you are in pain. And you are saving the same scorpion. He said, yes, scorpion is doing scorpion's work. I am doing my work. See the challenge. Pain I am undergoing, I am a sadhu, I am a holy man. So my life is for doing good to others. The scorpion will die. So I have to save his life. That's my duty. I get a bite, that's okay. That's a part of my duty. And doing again and again. And the scorpion knows nothing. He thinks probably someone is to save his life. He is thinking someone is enemy to me. So he keeps biting. Scorpion has no other thing to give. What he can give? He cannot give love. And he cannot give your blessings to others because that life is like that. So when we are facing the challenges of life, we can think that way. Oh, that is his duty to do. That's my duty to do. His duty to slander my character, his duty to speak something ill behind me, his duty to cheat, and his duty to do this. But my duty is to love, my duty is to be good. So that's why Christ ideal is very high ideal. People sometimes make it very easy when he says that if someone slaps on your right cheek, give the left cheek or something like that. No. It is not a weak person's deal. It is a man of character, man of principle, man of power, whose life principle is so high that it is much far beyond the conception of ordinary perception of our human dealing. That the compassion goes beyond the what you call their understanding or thinking about the legitimacy of the action done by others. So it is a Holy Mother, example, always giving love and compassion to anyone coming, unconditional giving in the condition of others. We all give according to our condition. If I am satisfied, I can do good to you. I can be very friendly to you. I may be sweet to you. But if my selfishness gets little disturbed, then my love goes away. Little by little. You may be my enemy. If I see you, I will be reactive. No? So this is the question. But love, what Christ showed, love, unconditional love. Unconditional love means loving the person or the situation under the same condition, accepting that is the way, and you try to help. So come down from your level to the level of the sufferer. So it is the duty to practice in our life the example, that demonstration, how to live divinely, amongst the worldly darkness. No? This type of negativity is there all around. Yes, it will be there. But our purpose should be to bring light, to bring joy, to bring peace in life. Swami Vivekananda said, Jesus had to be crucified. He could not have been Jesus otherwise. He had to pass through the agony to become the Christ, showing that this is the path for any righteous person who wants to move in spiritual life. So we can think about how we can take the message of Christ in our life. Take the Sermon on the Mount, if we read, we find that his advice. We can take one ideal, you can take two ideas, you can take all the other ideas together and can make way for the resurrection of the Lord in the heart. Unless God comes here, we cannot see God outside. How much we try, it will be a futile effort. That's why Ramakrishna said, doing good to others is good. But why you will do good to others? Unless you have your inner awakening. Otherwise it will be charity and charitable activity, and there will be behind there will be name, fame, attraction of name, fame, power, position, honor. All these things will be playing inside. So it says to think of others means unconditionally. That practice is to be maintained, this unselfishness. So let us take one advice. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Just one ideal. We can practice whole life, no? Be ye perfect. Perfect means what? Whatever in your life, in your action, in your deeds, in your interaction and mixing, perfect. A perfect person, how will you behave? In our action, perfection. God is perfect. So in this wonderful creation, you look at that, how perfect everything is going on. How the machine is set, no? The sun is coming, moon is coming, the flowers are blooming, sometimes it is leaves are living, in everything in perfect rhythm and time. This body is functioning. Who has created the body? Did we create our bodies? We are sitting here. How the brain is working now. Did we create anything? How perfectly it goes. If anything goes wrong, then our doctors get all headache. They try to correct it and they fail. How much modern science has advanced. Modern science also buddhi. Buddhi is God's buddhi. It is not our buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. It is not our intellect. Our mind is not powerful. Then you could have done anything and everything, but you have borrowed the mind of God. God has given you borrowed the mind, and you are playing with that. You say, we are discovering how much we know of everything. So the God's realm, everything is perfect, and life should be perfect. What is the sign of spirituality? People think spiritual people will be little haphazard, will be little loose, throw their shoes on one side, and one pair of shoes this side, another pair that side, keep your clothes hanging this way, that way, or the room is disoriented, disorganized. That's a sign of holiness. That is not the sign of holiness. Be perfect. Anything we do, God is perfect. I am offering it to God. So whatever I am giving, what a great philosophy is behind. To be perfect in every action. To the human dealing, you should be perfect in human dealing. Interaction. Who you are interacting with. How you are interacting. So if we say, that's a control. Unconsciously you see what is happening. If we want to follow this advice, that therefore you be perfect, even Father who is in heaven is perfect. According to that, if we want to be perfect, then what we should do? Perfection should come in every movement of our life, in our speech, in our seeing, in our interaction, in our relationship, in everywhere. Perfect behavior should be there. And that is control, self-control, self-mastery. And then that will lead us to understand how the society is imperfect. Why? Because there are so much of controversies, things are there, and we are not trying to do the right thing in the right way. Suppose you are perfect. Why it is perfect? Suppose you are offering something to God. You cannot do just offering to God in whatever way you like. Suppose you are offering, you have invited a guest to feed. How will you do? You cook something. You will do your best. Perfect as possible. Otherwise you are cooking double and you forgot that, did you give salt twice or once? Or did you do something, some spices given or not given? Will you do like that? Or your whole heart and soul will be in that work to make a perfect work, because it is offering to God. Similarly, our life perfection means every action should be an offering to God. Every action should be offering to the Lord God, who is perfect himself. So you are giving anything to anyone, not thinking that he is adorable person, respectable person, I am doing in one way, and he is ordinary person, I am doing. No, perfected person will do the same type of behavior with everyone. I was reading that one story, the Swami Vivekananda visited one place, and a schoolboy, they came to visit Swamiji. And Swamiji's eyes went into the shoes, and the less they bind it, it was not properly tied, the shoe with and then he said, could you correct it? He could not make it perfectly tie the shoes. And then Swami Vivekananda did it himself, in taking his shoes in his foot, and then now you do the other way. And that man was reminiscing in his future after life, that how a person like Vivekananda, his eyes are so sharp. I am a schoolboy, my shoes are not perfectly tied, and he noticed that, and he corrected me and taught me by taking my shoes in his own hand and taking my leg. So perfection is such a thing, it is offering to God. So whenever we are offering, and the whole Ramakrishna philosophy, this Vedanta philosophy is working on that. Whatever you do the best you can do. And in your office, in your work, in your driving, in your eating, in your sleeping, everything should be perfect, because God is perfect. Spirituality and secularism, there is no gap in between. Everything is spiritual. Everything which you think mundane, it is spiritual, because it is offering to God. So perfection. So one word, if we take, so many strings are tied with it under unseen, but it can be implied into our life to make ourselves closer to God. And as I say many times, that if you give a glass of water, you can give the glass with love, and you can give the glass of water with respect, dignity, thinking, what a great fortune, I could give a glass of water to God, asking through his costume, no? Then it is an offering to God, it is a sacrifice, it is opening the heart, heart is becoming pure. And the same glass of water we can give with a very angry mood and being disturbed. I am tired and again I am to give a glass of water. Why don't you take it yourself? Can you not do that? That also is another approach. But that approach is mundane approach. And the sacrifice approach, I have done for God, I am getting blessed. So what a great inner awakening that I am thinking of God and offering it. So perfection, perfection, perfection everywhere. That one ideal can help us. Say, love your enemies. Yeah, my God, he's very love. We cannot love our own people. Love your enemies and then bless them that curse you. My God, bless them that curse you. What type of perfection is necessary? What type of purity is necessary? Bless them. And Christ is not saying by giving some advice, but he has demonstrated that in his life of resurrection and crucifixion and afterwards resurrection, saying that this is the principle. So bless them that curse you, do good to them who hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. What a totally different idea of spirituality. And people forgetting this, not looking at the resurrection within, trying to destroy another religion, slaughtering, killing, and bloodshed. Swami Vivekananda said, the world, how much bloodshed has been happened in the name of religion, rather than normal, the war which happens to the kingly wars in country to country and other things. So here is the point, love your enemies. He said, how can we love unless this awakening does not come? Why shall I love my enemy? Normal reaction will be how to, something happens, someone is telling that, oh, he's such a bad guy, he's coming in the plane, if that plane crashes, I'll be happy. My God. The plane should crash because someone he does not like, and that man to die, so whole plane, all the other innocent people, they should also die. How can one think in this way? Let the plane crash so that he also dies. So an opposite way it is said that love your enemies. How can you do that unless you see God in them? Love your enemies, bless them that curse you. That's the character. Spirituality is character. Spirituality is the indomitable strength inside. To rise above. Death means what? Rising above. Above the mundane life, rise above. This is rising above. Christ came, Buddha came, Ramakrishna came to put us, give us a boost to rise above, rise above. Not to limit ourselves. Do good. That is your way. To do good to them, even they hate you. Hate, you can, whatever principle you adopt, but try to, at least, this is the high ideal being placed. No one reads gospel like that. Bible is not read that way. Bible is read in another language. Ignoring these vital teachings, it is Matthew 5th chapter, 44 verse. But no one reads Bible that way. And not reading the Bible to imply in our life. We read Vedanta. That is the same principle. Vedanta and Christianity, nothing else, nothing different. You find any difference here? Because if you see oneness in all, who will you hate? Who is the killer? Who is the killed? Bhagavad Gita says, who is killer? Who is killed? It's the body. It's the Atman is the same. So, and pray for them. So much, what we can do to develop our life in a level superhuman life. We all want to lift ourselves. That's the resurrection. This mundane life and inner life will be resurrected. And there will be a different life which will be seeing from this eyeglass of loving others, love the enemies, and bless them who curse you, do good to them who hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Intentionally they disturb the peace of others, and you particularly, they don't like you, they hate you, they persecute you, they criticize you. And where we stand? We stand in our very low level of our personality. This is called the individuality. We live in this individuality. What is this individuality? Anyone pampers me, I'll be high, I'll be very happy, and I'll just be very kind to him and feed him and invite him, this, that. That's very natural. But who is strong enough to invite a person who is abusing others, who is criticizing others, and who can pray for them? Oh Lord, Christ said, oh Lord, they do not know what they are doing. Forgive them. Who can say that? Yes, people can think that he is bad. See, Swami Vivekananda's father, he was a Narendra. Vivekananda was a young man, young boy. His name was Naren. So Naren saw that his father gives money to anyone, and everyone comes and begs for anything, he gives away. And Naren is a very intelligent boy. He saw that my father gives this money, but these people come with a grave face and shows their sadness and ask for something and gives. But they go immediately get some drink or some drug. Then one day he came back to his father and said, Father, why do you do all these gifts to these people and you make them bad people again in the society? See, one consideration. Naren, immature mind, taking our condition of heart. Why you are giving money to person who is going to the drinking and drug? No? You are destroying their life, but you are demoralizing them. That's the idea that we do. As I say sometimes jokingly, that when I'm going, there is a person who is standing with I am hungry. Then my pocket purse, I'd like to take out and then say, shall I give it? Oh, that person, if I give $1, he may collect dollars and go for drug. Are you have not opened your purse even, but you have so much consideration of what he is going to do to have a drug and all these principles you are thinking about. What Swami Vivekananda's father said, my boy, you know why they go for drinking and drug? Life has so much of suffering, so much of pain. To forget that suffering for a moment, they indulge into drinking or drug. See the consideration. Your eyes will open. And he said, one day you will not be able to keep your tears on your eyes when you know this suffering, cause of this suffering. And actually Swami Vivekananda, whole life, he cried for the suffering of others. He could not sleep in the beautiful bed. He used to lie down in the floor, seeing the suffering of other people have no bed. How can I sleep in the bed? The day of his success, most brilliant success in the 1893 in Chicago Parliament, of religions. And then that night he could not sleep in the bed. Host has a big, nice bed in some, and that he was lying whole night in the floor and crying and weeping for the suffering humanity. So this is called the different attitude. Why so much suffering? What can you do? You do something. Criticism anyone can do. But this is the heart, opening of the heart, this broadness of the heart. God realization is broadening the heart, not squeezing the heart. God realization is seeing the light within and the light in everyone. So that to awaken, some specific steps should be taken. To be persecuted, accept that. As I said, you want to be established in this world of changes, which is momentary, then you take the 6 steps as I have told you just now. And if you want to be Hridivan, you're broad-hearted Hridivan, you want to be Nisharto, means selfless, and Premik, you're a lover of humanity, E jagote nahi tabo sthan. You have to accept this principle, then enter into this realm of service to others, serving others, and doing good to others, and the path of self-expression of the divinity within. So these are the teachings, the real within the resurrection, awakening, and the appearance of God will be more and more if we can follow this instruction. Others I am not reading today, but this is enough for us to absorb and to think about that. What we mean. We are spiritual people. What is our goal? Why we are here? Why we celebrate all this Christmas, we have Easter role. Very symbolic. People rarely think all those things. I never thought before. There is in Washington DC on Easter Monday, where the children come for egg rolls. And a hard-boiled egg, and then they roll it. That is the place the rolling. Rolling means the rolling of the covering of the tomb. The ignorance rolling down, no? And then break through, and then the inner yolk will come out, no? That is the presence of Lord will come. So it is our struggle to break this eggshell and let it roll. How it will roll, this sacrifice is necessary. As Christ has sacrificed, as Christ has shown the love unconditional, and in every point to dedicate and to be persecuted willingly. He could have escaped. He knew, no? As we read the Bible, we find that he knew what is going to happen. He could have easily escaped it. But he went through that knowing fully well. So knowing fully well, you will be persecuted for good reason, for good spiritual growth and development. You will be beggar by serving others. You will be eating less and giving food to others because you see God in them. So this is called the sacrifice. And sacrifice is the foundation of all growth and development. A schoolboy sacrifices his play and his fun with the friends because of school examination to get a good grade. A professor does much more studies and do research paper to get more and more recognition in the world. Sacrifice. Mother does for the child to grow her own suffering and other things that they don't care about. Sacrifice the joy of sleep, joy of personal gain and other things. So everywhere in life we find sacrifice. So this is the waking up call this way that Christ is born to show us the path of sacrifice. Thank you.
We have time for a few questions, Bobby?
Whatever is, if you have any.
Any questions? Oh, very good.
So when you talk about doing things out of love and seeing everybody in yourselves, that duty, how do you build yourself up to a point where you're able to actually fulfill that duty? Because
First we'll have to start how much we can with our limit, and then it will be, power will come more to extend that ability to do more and more. First of all, I may have little capacity. Say, you have in your pocket $20. Someone is begging something and you feel like that. You can go up to $20 being zero for yourself. But you cannot give $1,000. So what can you do? After giving $20,000, you can say, oh Lord, please help him, someone. So to expand, within your limit, our limit, we should have to make an effort to go up to that much I can do. But also you have to understand, you have to protect yourself also, that minimum. Otherwise, how will you help others? But that philosophy in the airplane, they say, no, you put your mask first, and for the babies, after you are settled, then take care of the child, no? But here, I will not suggest that. I'll say take care of the child first and take care of the oldest. But anyhow, that is within our limit. How much is to be doable, we have to do that. And duties are there, we'll have to perform. That duty is service. Don't think duty. This is a new idea. Not new idea, it is the idea we have forgotten. Duty, there is no duty. We are all born independent. What duty we have for anyone? But yes, mother has a duty for the child. Son has a duty for mom, dad, or we are dependent. No, duty. But why duty? You think you are serving God in them. There's no duty. And then how much I can do, that my limit. I wish that one of my friend is sick now in hospital and he has to be going to very critical condition. What can I do from here? Duty. But we have limitation. But do we do up to our limit what we can do, and then pray, Lord will take care. Or if you have any other resource, call somebody who can help. It's the heart is the question. Love is the question. Sincerity is the question. How much we can do, it matters little. And duty is to be done. Any honest person should have this duty. But duty can be elevated into this thought. Duty as service to God.
I think you sated and satisfied.
Now it is a practice we have to do all the time. I am talking about that I will have to learn that every day to remind ourselves.
May I ask one question, Mark? So on the cross, Jesus also, in addition to all the wonderful things, he also, the devotee inside also says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And which is kind of seems more like our lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments on that, Mother?
I think that that's also, when they look at the God comes down in a human form, so human nature is also there. So one will have to, God, divine and human, work in them. Meaning that if suffering comes to you, you may say, why Lord, is for my fate. You will say, it's a human personality, I am suffering. If I fall in utmost suffering, I say, why this for me, O Lord, no? And then again, you come back to your awakening state. Okay, that's the human side. But in divine side, yes, it is God's play going on. God bless them. So that's why all the incarnations, in the Lila Prasanga, in the Great Master, or in the Divine Play, that book of Ramakrishna, Swami Sarvadevananda has depicted Ramakrishna as a Deva Manava. Deva means divine and Manava means human. When they take a human body, they do two roles they play. One time human, Ramakrishna sometimes, oh my hand is broken, what will happen? My throat is, I cannot eat anything. I am so much excruciating pain. Then again, Hari Maharaj Turiyananda says, no sir, you don't suffer. You are not suffering. Then he said, oh you rascal, you got me to the point. That means his divine aspect is beyond. But human aspect, yes, so long the mind is in the body, if body pain is body pain. So that mood, that emotion came, human emotion, oh Lord, if you are there, why for me so much suffering? I think this is the two aspects. For all incarnations you will find these two aspects. One the divine aspect, another the human aspect. Human aspect is there because we can connect. Jesus is ours, because Jesus also said like that. He didn't totally deny. Okay, the body is going on, I am not. But so long in the body consciousness, he said, why for me? And then when he raises his consciousness into another level, why bless everyone? No? It is I am there. Who is the killer? Who is the killed? Okay? Thank you.